name's Chip, this is Jim. We'll be doing some beautiful landscapes tonight. Painting some pretty clouds. Yeah, it's totally a Bob Ross setup. Yeah. So earlier today at the signing, which was amazing. Everybody came out. Thank you, Claire and I. You guys are awesome. Normally I don't care much for people, but the people I saw today, they were okay. So I foolishly said I'd do like a dozen sketches on raffle and got zero of them done at the show. So I'm going to do them here on stage. It's like two birds with one stone. You guys are one of the birds. So my first sketch is a creepy clown, a request of a lovely lady. This goes out to the lovely lady. Yeah, that's creepy, right? Yeah. All right, good. So I'm going to just start drawing a creepy clown. If everyone else wants to draw too, you just go ahead and do that. And then I don't know what Jim's drawing.
I'm not doing a creepy clown.
Why not?
No, do you want me to also do a creepy clown?
I don't know. Do your inner spirit animal. Yeah.
No, that's not it. I'll do something more.
Oh, you draw me.
Oh shit, I will draw you.
Alright,
there you go. Oh, all of you.
Okay, so creepy clown has to be kind of free form. You don't want to plan out a creepy clown, so I'm not even going to pencil it.
Really?
No. Wow. No, it's getting fucking creepy.
Mine's not going to look like anything until I put the ink down.
I used to belong to a studio in Toronto. There was like 4 of us, and we would pass around a sketchbook. And I came up with a comic idea one year before we went to San Diego called Chip Zdarsky's Butler and Clown, where I just inherited a butler and clown in a 4-foot apartment. And it became like a studio joke. Like we pass the sketchbook around and just add to the tales this clown and this butler. And so the clown is always morphing into different types of clowns. So this is my favorite thing. So yeah, you really want to start with nice lazy eyes. Beautiful thick lashes. All clowns need lashes. Children love lashes.
Children, they love the lashes.
Yeah. The eyes need to not be looking in the same direction.
If you didn't have a beard, you would have no chin.
No, I know that. When I was a kid, my dad always had a beard, and I'd never seen him without a beard. And then one day, I asked him, like, "Yo, Daddy, I'm 17. Daddy, why don't you shave?" You don't want to see it. I'm like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Really, come here." And this is meaningful on a couple levels. It's the first time my father touched me. So he grabbed my hand. He's like, "Here, check it out." And he pushed the finger into the beard, and it kept traveling back. Like, till it felt like I was hitting the back of his spine. He's like, "That's why I have the beard, son. One day you'll need one too." He was really right.
So I don't know if they can see that. Yeah, I'm just drawing this weird, sort of like a Rockwell. You're beautiful in your own. The Third Eye guys have been very gracious, but they booked us into a hotel room that it only had a king-size bed. So Chip and I have been getting to know each other.
I don't know who here is on Twitter. I wrote earlier, because like, there's like no sound barrier.
If you want to get fired from your job, you should follow Chip Zdarsky. Looking at it at work. Sorry, go ahead.
There's no sound barrier, and so like last night, we went for steak, because that's what you do when you're in America. And it kind of hurt our guts, and we took turns making horrible noises in the washroom while the other person sat outside pretending not to hear it.
I wish he was kidding.
So today I was in the washroom for around 12, and I was on Twitter, because that's what you do when you're shitting. And I wrote, "Oh, the walls are so thin in this hotel that I'm just pooping into my hand and gently placing it in the toilet so the sound doesn't disturb Jim."
I got like 85 favorites. Oh, you got a mole on your sort of, that's gross.
What? Where?
No, it's fine, you're good.
Okay.
I like it. I will never ask you to do a painting of me. Because it will not, no.
for Jim's, when Jim got married, my wedding gift to him was just a really beautiful drawing of a mutual friend.
And it's a weirdly beautiful drawing, but it's our friend like looking way too happy, and he's like smiling, and it says, what, it was like, have a great life, guy. It was just like, super fucked up. We used to have it in our downstairs bathroom staring at people while they were pooping. So, the joyous life of a comic artist, let me tell you. You have no cheekbones either.
That's not like a critique of my face. I'm just mole covered and no definition.
It's all gonna be a surprise for you guys. It's gonna be fun.
It's actually really hard for me because I don't even notice, like I'm holding my brush like this, which is also a thing. Like I started drawing at such an early age, the table was too high, and I couldn't see what I was drawing, so I had to turn my pen this way. So like this is like actually really hard. So I'm probably gonna put it a bit lower.
Yeah, I can't decide if I want to have. You actually have beady eyes. But I can't decide if I want to give you beady eyes or want to give you like the puppy dog eyes that people believe you have.
You're monsters.
What do you want? Do you want beady eyes or
I want fucking Daniel Craig eyes. Just like
steely
puppy dog you want to fuck.
Puppy fucker is a magical comic idea.
You know what store will do the variant.
Hey! Thanks, Third Eye. All right. Now I wish we had a camera. Can you guys sort of start to see the?
Oh wow!
Yeah. That's looking pretty chipple, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't seen it yet.
That's chip.
Now we're gonna add the. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's do this.
Like this is a gym, right? Like this is.
I am a creepy clown.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's. All right.
Nice.
Those eyebrows.
Can I see your nose? Oh, your nostrils are on sort of the side.
On the side.
That's kind of interesting. I like it.
Kind of interesting. That's exactly the feedback you want to hear on your face. Kind of interesting. So yeah,
The beard does save everything. You can fuck up.
yeah. You really want luscious lips. Yeah, you want luscious lips?
Pretty cheesy.
I mean, most clowns have kind of a teen stash. Gotta get in there.
My background's in animation. I was actually a classical animator for a few years, and
Classical animator makes it sound really fucking fancy.
Canadian cartoons.
You know, like Bach and Tchaikovsky. Yeah, it's like that, but animation.
Anyways, but we used to do horrendous caricatures of everyone at the office, and we'd also take those lovely cartoon characters and make them do terrible things to each other. And you get sick of drawing them day after day, but you get really good at drawing them, so then you could just do horrific things to them. It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
What are you going to say about my face?
It's beautiful. I'd trade you faces in minutes.
Face off.
I don't know if I can do your beard justice. Just about my beard.
Obviously, I've gone way too close on this clown's face.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
You actually have no.
What? What
From
do
the
I have?
profile, you have no. Your nose just sort of ski jumps. There's no brow definition. Did you know that? I'm right though.
No, I did not know that.
I don't know if I can do that justice. I think I'm just going to draw you all night, actually. Just multiple drawings of you.
People are going to love those.
Yeah, boy. Sell those on eBay, buddy.
Why does that clown look like Biggie Smalls?
Yeah. What's that?
Biggie Smalls, the clown.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
You're looking at it.
Why would I even say that's a clown? That's got nothing to do with clown. That's what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to give him like the clown. Just a hint there. Creepy buffalo. Yeah. I'll solve everything in Post-production. Much as I hate to admit it, you totally nailed me. No, you should.
Get some stubble burn there. Yeah. That's good. You should. I'll just have that one or two little. Yeah, it's just. It's beautiful. This is gonna get romantic right here on stage. Indeed. So what's the tell us some convention horror stories, Chip.
I don't really have any.
Oh, you fucker.
Well, I don't. Like.
That was while you're trying to prison.
Oh, there's that. I've never been in prison, but I was arrested when I was going to school. It was like this kind of small town with the art college, and my parents were coming in from out of town. They're driving like 3 hours, and a buddy of mine and me, we went down to the coffee shop to wait for them. My buddy brought a toy gun with him because he was just pretending to be a tough guy, and I warned him, like, don't bring that down. And then when we got into the shop, he pulled it out and put it on the table. Like, what are you doing? And I grabbed it and put it in my jacket. And then, like, maybe like 15 minutes later, this guy walks in, and he walks up to the table in front of me. There's a bunch of teens. And he's like, teens, hands on the table where I can see them. I'm a police officer in shorts. I don't know. And I'm like, this is awesome. These kids are getting busted for something. For like eating too many donuts. I don't know. And then I saw my buddy walk in because he went up to make a phone call, and he was there with an officer, and he pointed at me. He's like, it's a guy in a blue jacket. I'm like, oh, fuck me. So they hauled me out, and they put me on the hood of the cop car, and they frisked me down.
In front of your parents?
No, they weren't there. But they threw me in the back of the cruiser, and then my parents showed up. So they were walking, like, they hadn't seen me in months, and they were just like walking by in front of the coffee shop. And they're like, where's our straight A son? And they just like don't look over, and like the shrieks from my mom. And like, so it was like, it's a small town, so it was like 3 cop cars, 6 cops to deal with these kids with the toy guns. But I was charged with possession of and concealment of a dangerous weapon. Because in Canada, it's considered a dangerous weapon. A toy gun.
Here, it's just considered.
Yeah, a toy gun.
Real guns would be considered nothing.
Yeah, but you could hold up a store with it, so they're like, if you walk down the street with a baseball bat and someone sees it as being threatening, that's a dangerous weapon. So yeah, so I was arrested, I got fingerprinted, mug shots, the whole like weird back room where they trying to get me to confess on the thing that I clearly did.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's what started my career.
And so from there you made prison funds?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Prison funding is like a dare that just went really wrong. If nobody knows it, I did like a kind of a university strip just about prison life. And it was because I was working at a student newspaper, and then I left. And they were like, oh, you should do something for us next year, like a comic. I'm like, I don't want to do a comic. Like, so I just pitched the thing that I thought wouldn't run. And every week I'd send in another one, thinking, this is it. Like, no, you're in it. Yeah, adding ink wash makes everything seem like it's like artsy, no matter how horrific it is.
We'll call them Clowny Smalls.
Clowny Smalls.
Yes.
Get into that stash.
All right, I'm done my first one.
Please, you win.
Unless I win.
It's a sumo wrestling.
All right, you guys ready? Yeah. Ding!
You're gonna have quite the career on the boardwalk.
All right, we'll just pop that down there. $1.
Do it here, 50 cents.
What's
$3.
what am I doing next?
$3.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Donkey on crack.
What? I'm gonna request like fucking superheroes.
You heard the woman donkey on crack.
Donkey on crack, protecting the innocent. Nice.
We're from Toronto, so we've got like an elephant on crack.
Oh, you said your mayor?
Yeah.
Our pal.
I ran against him in the 2010 election.
Way to go, Chip. You
Yeah,
ruined the city for all of us. Let me see this creepy car. Oh, he's really close. It's
there we
good.
go. I think it's pretty much it.
Jesus.
So I worked for a national newspaper in Canada, and they kind of let me do whatever I want, which is fantastic. And in 2010, when the Toronto election was happening, I was like, I think the only way to cover this election is to put me in the race, frankly. And we had these like top level meetings. Like I met the publisher and I was with the editor-in-chief as we discussed the ethics of putting a joke candidate in that works for the paper, and like, what if you do well? Like, how do we cover you? Like, newspapers are really concerned with journalistic ethics as they tank. Yeah, in Canada. And so I ran, but the whole shtick was like, I forgot to file my nomination papers, and I kept putting it off, and like, but it gained a lot of traction. I did a thing where, because I was just making fun of it.
Your campaign video, I fucking cried when I saw it. So
The campaign video, there's a Toronto Island, which is, as it sounds, it's an island.
We're gonna describe this video to you. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it.
Oh, just the one part, like, you know, because it begins with like swelling music as I sit there on the shores of Toronto Island looking at Toronto as it like crumbles, and I'm just like, I've got to do something about this. I stand up and I walk towards the water and I strip it down to nothing, and I jump into the freezing water.
Lake.
And then we jump the cut to me coming out the other side with a full suit as I rescue homeless people. but like the best part of my job was like the video's done, and I've got the editor-in-chief and the publisher sitting there, and we just hit play, and there's a swimming pool just for them to see my bare ass, and just a hint of testicle.
They made you pixelated.
They made me pixelated. But it turned out to be fun.
Oh, it was so good. But yes.
But yeah, so like my campaign was kind of making fun because all these, like, you know, politician campaigns, like old men that have never used Twitter ever, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, I'm really on Twitter now, like with my 24-year-old age, pretending to be an 80-year-old man. And so I signed up for every social media site in the world. Like I went through, I found like Russian Facebook, MySpace, and I just had like, yeah, like seriously. The best one was I signed up for personal.
Well, we actually put in the disclaimer in the program guide that, you know, children should not come to this panel and all this sort of stuff. Because
featuring My Little Pony, right?
My Little Pony, right? Swearing like a sailor. It's seriously the most foul-mouthed, insane shit I've ever, like the stuff that, and so I was really nervous the first time I did that panel. I was like, well, you know, no one wants to hear these us saying bad things about interactions with fans or whatever, and then she just let loose these tirade of insanity, and I go, well, I don't feel so fucking bad now. She talks about like, there was some furry guy, like he was dressed like a tiger, but he just had like a loincloth on, and he came up and he basically wanted her to draw the tiger without the loincloth on. Just weird stuff like that. But anyways, but I've had some, so we've been doing these convention horror stories panels now for 4 years, and every year it gets a little bit weirder. And last year, I had some new stories that are going to go into the mix, like after we did the panel, so they're going to go into next year's edition, I guess you could call it. So I had a really terrifying one. I was telling these guys this yesterday. So I had someone come up to me, and he wasn't, I wouldn't say he was fat, but he was shapes. Like he was sort of, he was like a pudding of a man. He was this sort of glistening, jiggling, shambling form. And he comes over to the table, and he had death in his eyes. Like he was just dead to the cold-hearted. And he stepped over and he was like, will you look at my comic? And I was really tired. It was a really busy day.
The answer's always no.
I know, that now. I just looked over and I said, okay, you know, okay, sure. And and he puts this sketchbook down, it's spiral-bound sketchbook, and it's clear, like, have you seen any David Fincher movie, or like Fight Club, or like fucking Seven, you know, all the journals of the guy? Like, it was like that insane, scrawling, spiraling madness, and like violent, grotesque imagery, like outsider art, kind of freaky shit. And I was just flipping page after page, I'm just like, I'm in America, he probably has a gun, like this, I'm gonna fucking die, this is gonna be terrifying. And so I'm flipping through, and I honestly, I'm at a complete loss. I just look at him, I go, what kind of feedback are you looking for? And he looks at me, just stops dead, and he just goes, leans down, uncomfortably close. I want you to tell me it's perfect in every way. And I look down at the sketchbook, and I summon up all my courage, and all my energy, and all my happiness, and I just look up at him and go, hey man, this is perfect. In every way.
And that man was me.
No. And he just takes it back and he just goes, thank you. And then he just left. And I imagine later when he came through on a killing spree that he would just... just be like this crazy fucking... That was scary. But okay, I'll tell you a heartwarming story so you don't think it's all terrifying death. There was also, I had one of the best experiences at that same con. I have to actually get up, this is going to be like a stand-up comedy act. This guy comes into the show, and it was like he had been transported to a magical world. He literally walked in, he was just like, oh. And he comes over to my table, and he's looking at my sign with my name on it, and he goes, that's you, right? I'm like, yeah. You're Zoob, Jim Zoob? I was like, yeah. And he goes, I saw your name on a poster. I was like, okay. In the subway, they had a poster with all the names of the people, and you were one of the people. I'm like, okay, yeah, so this is yours? I'm like, yeah. This is fucking crazy. I'm like, what are you high? Like, what is this? And he goes, I said, you know it's a convention, right? Like, I do, but what is this stuff? I'm like, what do you mean, this stuff? Like, well, these are comic books, and I'm an artist and writer, and I do comic books. And he says, no, I mean, this. I said, the convention? Yeah! I said, didn't you come here for the convention? Well, I didn't plan to. I was on the subway, and there were all these fucking people in costumes. There's this woman just like Wonder Woman, there's another guy like fucking Batman, and they were all happy and looking amazing. And I was like going to my buddy's place to hang out, and I thought, fuck, whatever these guys are doing is better than what I got planned for Saturday. I'm gonna fucking go to this. And so he goes to the shows up, and he just follows them down the street, and they go into the convention center, and he walks in, and he's like, can I come in? And they're like, well, you have to buy a ticket. How much? And they, I don't know, $20. And he's like, okay, and he just goes in, but he has no fucking clue. He's not a comic book collector, doesn't do any of this stuff. He's just in awe. And the pure awe was so awesome, because I usually do about a dozen shows a year. I've been doing this for 11 years. So I've done to over 100 conventions. And that pure bliss was like, wow, I forgot. This is what people do when they're flipping their shit. And so he was just so, and he said, so what, I'm here now, what happens? And so, well, there are people with their books, and you can meet them and get them signed, and you can try stuff out and meet new artists and talk about the things that you love. Like what? Well, you know, you can go to a panel. What's that? And so I grabbed the program book and I opened it up and I said, well, you see right here on the schedule, it's almost 2 o'clock and there's a panel on Doctor Who. He goes, holy fuck, I watched that show, it's really good. I said, dude, you're gonna love it. They're gonna talk about Doctor Who. They're gonna interview one of the guys from Doctor Who. He goes, oh my God. And I said, and he goes, where is it? I said, well, here's the map. And I'm like, literally, it's over here. You go up the stairs, the thing. And then he goes, okay. I said, you better go, it's going in 15 minutes. And he literally got like the pee-pee dance, and he goes, I gotta go to a panel! And he just left. And he was so fucking excited, and I was like happy, that made my day. That was pure joy.
And like I said, they kind of let me do what I want, and they really wanted me to cover like a nudist colony. They're like, we should do like a story on a nudist colony. And so they teamed me up with another reporter, this guy, and we drive on up to this colony, this resort called like the Four Seasons or something. And it's supposed to be a very family-friendly resort. Like it's like nudism for families. And so we get there and we check into our room. It's the filthiest fucking room I've ever been in, and I have been in filthy fucking rooms. And we turn on the TV to check the channels. There's only one channel, and it's porno. So like, this is not what was advertised. But there are kids there, like there's families. It's like a trailer park and a hotel. So like all these people just kind of live there, like accountants that are like, got Prince Alberts, and like it's just weird. So we're just kind of like hanging out all day. We're not really hiding that we're reporters, but we're we're not advertising it because we want to kind of get the real deal. And we're in the hot tub, and this older couple gets in, and this like young drunk lady, who I found out later came there on her own. Her friends like were gonna join her, and she wanted like a new start in life without clothes. And but she was just like, she's wasted, like in the middle of the day. And so I'm in there with my friend, and we're just kind of talking, and then this older couple's there with this young lady. We're talking, and then we turn back, and all of a sudden they're making out with this young lady in the hot tub. I'm just like, oh my god. And my friend Ben, he's just like, I gotta get out of here. So he gets up and runs to the shower naked. And I said to him, I can't get up. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I can't stand up. No matter how old they are, it's still sexual. I'm hard as a rock. In a hot tub. There's children running around the pool. That was the weirdest part. He's like, I'm a kid guy. Like kids like me. I like kids. And like this one kid is like, he's like, let's play, and he's like chasing me around the pool. I'm like, where's your parents? Like, who knows? Jesus. Oh, I forgot to mention, like when we got there, because this guy's a friend. He's a reporter. I've never seen him naked, and I'm like, I said, this is going to be really awkward. So I've got an idea. Now we're here in the hotel room. Let's strip down and just stare at each other's junk for like 3 minutes straight. Just get to know it fully, and then we'll be fine. So we did that, and we just like stripped down, and I'm like, okay, so you got that kind of thing going, and those are kind of like down, and yeah, that's fine. And he's like, yeah, this actually worked. I'm like, yeah, we're totally fine. Except for walking up the stairs behind him when I got full asshole. That's no good. So it was like, so later that night.
Full asshole.
Yeah, and you're eating nude. It's all really weird. And later that night.
What did you have to eat?
Like gravy. I don't even know what I was thinking. It was like fries and gravy. I'm just sitting there and gravy's dripping on my dick. We did a bunch of great interviews, and we made our way around and met all these people and like found out all the stories of why they're there. And then like later on that night we're in the bar, and it gets a little chilly out, so sometimes people put on shirts. And that's it, like, so just shirts and dicks. And that drunk lady that's making out with those people earlier, she's still there, and she's drunk, and this one guy, just total porn star, she's just macking on her, and just like, but she's in no condition. And I'm like, fuck, we have to stop what's about to happen. So I kind of step in there, and I'm just like, and I'm like, hey, buddy, you gotta step off, I think she's had too much. He's like, who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you gonna do about it? And I realize, I'm about to fight a naked man. So I say this, and then my buddy comes up behind, he's like, no, you gotta fucking step off. He's like, fuck you outsiders coming in telling us how to fuck and not fuck ladies who are drunk. And like, he just like goes away. I'm like, oh, thank God, like, because I had my fight erection on, I was ready. And this is the awkward thing now. This is this drunk naked lady, and we're like, we gotta get you back to your room. She can barely stand. They're like, what's your room number? And she's like, that's 249. So we're like carrying her, and she keeps turning to my friend. She's like, you're cute. And she's not saying that to me, so thanks. We kind of get to her room, we open up, and we realize it's a room with no windows. And it's just the saddest. We just kind of lay this nude woman down in bed. And she's lying there staring at us, just kind of like scratching her breast. And I'm like, good night. So I turn the lights on, close the door. I just remember the sliver of light just like narrowing on her like nude body. It's just horrible. So the next day we check out, and we're on the road, and my parents call, and I'm like, and I'm talking to them.
How was your weekend?
I'm like, you'll never guess where I was. It was like this resort, the Four Seasons, this news resort. My mom's like, oh yeah, I've been there. Oh, she's like, yeah, your father and I went there, but we didn't like it. It seemed a bit too dirty. I'm like, oh Jesus.
The things you didn't want to know about your parents.
Yeah, well, I knew it. Like, I knew they did nude resorts. Like, they had this like talk with me my dad had to like go to California to do like a...
Is this a confessional?
Yeah. My dad had to go to California to do this like seminar, and my parents are kind of inseparable, so we had to send my mom after like a week because it was like a 6-week course, and my brother and I just lived on our own and fought hobos for food. And when they got back, they sat us down. They're like, okay, well, this thing happened to us in California. And we discovered this thing about ourselves and our bodies, and we're nudists now. And don't worry, we won't be doing it around the house. But your mother and I are going to be going away on weekends, and we're going to like explore this new side, and it's going to be great. And like this was right around the time they got into motorcycles too, so my parents became like biker nudists. My dad would be buying like Megadeth t-shirts, and he didn't know what Megadeth was, but he was like, oh, this looks cool, this will look cool with me on my bike. Like, what, like, Megadeth? Really? Alright, okay. Anyways, I'm monopolizing, I'm sorry.
No,